Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my first official video. I have 3 more videos, but those are just shorts. Um, I wanted to talk about reviews, doing bourbon and whiskey reviews, and how I do my reviews, how I started, and where I'm at right now. And when I started doing reviews, I used to just look it up and read off of that, and then I would give my ratings. As time went on, I kind of wanted to do something different because it's all the same. I didn't want to rush through it. When I look at other people's videos and I see the way they're doing their reviews, it's pretty quick. And you would hear things like, "I get strawberry shortcake, I get apple cinnamon, and blueberry pie, and all these desserts you hear." And it's like, I don't think I've ever gotten those things. All I got really was the basic common notes like the vanilla, the oak, the caramel, sometimes some cinnamon, maybe hints of chocolate, and that's pretty much it. When I see people talk about all these desserts, I'm like, I don't get all of that. So kind of feels like they're just reading off of something or whatever it is. But I kind of feel like I wanted to get more into detail, and I really want to compare also what my palate thinks. Whatever I read off of a website about a bourbon uh, doesn't necessarily mean that's exactly what I'm going to get or even you're going to get. Everybody's palate is different. So I decided now what I do is I would look up the info on the bourbon and then compare it to my palate and see what I get. Do I get all these little details, on the nose, on the palate? I don't know, but this is what I get. And I like to share that and compare that when I do my reviews. So then it also tells people that it also gives people the idea that even though it says all these things, you may not pick those up. You'll probably pick up something different, or something, or only a few of those things. So, for example, I wanted to do one here, and we're going to do a Knob Creek 12-year small batch. I'm just going to pour a little bit under an ounce. Just doing a tasting here. So what we're going to do is we're going to read off what we got from sources. So for example, on the nose, it says toasted oak, vanilla, caramel, and fresh baked bundt cake. Now I'm going to see what I get, if I get any of those things or something different. So I'm going to swirl it around a little bit, and now I'm going to go in for a smell. I also learned from going side to side. On one side, you'll get the ethanol. On the other side, you'll get a lot of the flavors. I don't remember. Let's see if I can figure this one out. Let's try that again. Ooh. Okay, so if I'm correct, I think on the right side is where I'm getting the ethanol. On the left side is where I'm getting more of the flavors. So what I get off of this, I get some oak. I get a lot of oak. So I'm guessing that's the toasted oak, of course. I do get hints of vanilla and caramel, but I think the oak is a little bit stronger. Now, I don't know what fresh baked bundt cake smells like. It does smell like some baking spices. And then sometimes I would let this sit for a bit. What I learned is that, and this was from my earlier days, And when I mean earlier days, I don't mean years ago. I only started doing this last year in October of 2024. Sorry, not October, in August. My first review was actually August 10th of last year. And I noticed eventually that when I do these reviews, my reviews were only about, the full video was only about 2 minutes long. And then when you cut the videos, they come out to about 60 to 90 seconds long. And I started to realize whenever I finish those videos, later on I start to realize, oh wait, now I'm getting this, now I'm getting that. I should have said this, I should have said that. And I realized, you know what? Sometimes you have to let the bourbon, the whiskey breathe for a bit because it opens up the flavor. When you do your first pour, you're not going to get everything. And later on, when you start to go into it deeper and deeper, you're going to pick up different notes. You're going to pick up notes that you didn't pick up in the beginning. So that's why I take a little bit longer now to do my videos. My videos are now around 3 to 4 minutes long, sometimes even 5, because I would just have it keep recording, and I would have the glass just sit down and just wait a few seconds, let it breathe, and then I would go back in for another smell. And I would pick up some other stuff that I didn't pick up in the beginning. So let's go again. So the caramel is starting to come through a little bit more, and I'm starting to pick up a little bit of pepper spices. The oak is still strong. So I think that's pretty much what I get. I get the toasted oak, I get the vanilla, the caramel, and some pepper spices. I don't get the fresh baked Bonte cake. And as far as the oak, the vanilla, oak, and caramel, so that's what I call the VOC, vanilla, oak, and caramel. The oak is really strong, stronger than the other two. It's the dominant one. Yeah. Now we're gonna go for the palate. So on the palate, it says rich oak, hint of leather, vanilla marshmallow, with a sprinkle of white pepper. Let's see what I get. I don't know what white pepper tastes like. I know what black pepper tastes like. So I'm going to say I do get some pepper spice. The first thing that I got on that first sip was the spice, was the pepper spice. And just like on the nose, it takes time. The first sip is not going to tell you everything. Uh, the second sip, you'll get some more. And then the third sip, you'll get some more. The warm sip is kind of like a palate cleanser, or the warm up to really open up those flavors. So we'll go for a second sip. Mm. So you see now there's a little bit of a change. I get a strong oak flavor, and followed by a hint of caramel and vanilla, and then the black pepper, well, not black pepper, but I'm going to say pepper. The pepper spice came after. I don't get marshmallow, and I don't get the hint of leather. Again, I'm going to let it sit for a bit, just a few seconds, let it open up. and we're going to go in for the third sip. Moving it around also kind of helps. Let's see what the legs are on this. So the legs are coming down pretty fast. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. I think it says when the legs run fast, it's a kind of a low proof, I think, or if the leg runs slow, it's a higher proof. I'm not sure. I still got to go back and study that some more. Let's go in for the third sip. So I got a lot more sweetness on that one, on that third sip. And also I took a little bit of a bigger sip than I did the first two. So you really get a nice mouthful. So I did get a lot more of the sweetness. I got rich caramel. The oak is still strong. A little bit of vanilla. And I can get that pepper spice after, but it's not that strong. It kind of went down a bit. And I do get a tiny hint of leather, but it just went away pretty quickly. The marshmallow, I can't pick up the marshmallow, but that was pretty much all I get. As far as the finish, I get a nice warm finish. The first two sip, I didn't get much of that warm finish, but that third sip, it adds up and it's really nice. It's right here, it lingers. It's not as strong. I would describe this as a medium warm finish. It goes down pretty nice. It's pretty well balanced. And now as for the ratings, I do two scores because there's my score and then there's an overall score. So my score basically is about what I think of this bourbon, what I think about it, uh, depending on on my palate. So if your palate is like me, then you would know then this is for you, But if not, then you would go to an overall score. So for me, this score, my score out of 5 would be, I would give it a 3.5 out of 5. I like it. It's great. It's nice for a warm up. It's also nice to have once in a while. It's not just good for a warm up. It's actually better than a warm up as well. So you can have it both as a warm up or even more or better than a warm up. So that's my score for this. 3.5 out of 5. An overall score, when I do my overall score, I think about everything. I think about beginners, I think about, in people in the middle and high proof. I'm a high proof person, but I don't forget that I was once a beginner also. And what I like now, I used to hate. The smokiness, the heat, high proof, the spices, the burning, the all that kind of stuff. I didn't like it. Too much sweetness. I was more a 90, mid 90 proof kind of guy. I like smooth, easy to drink, soft uh, whiskeys. And over time, I got, I tried different whiskeys, different bourbons, and I was open to trying um, things like Scotch and Irish whiskey as well. And I think adding those into the mix really changed my palate a lot. And to be honest, I can't pinpoint exactly when I started liking high proof, but I was surprised. I I love bourbon, and I also wasn't a fan of ryes. But my wife always encouraged me to try different things, and she likes rye, so she said, "Hey, try some rye whiskey. You never know." I went from a bourbon being my number one whiskey to a rye being my number one whiskey, and that's because I was open to trying different things. So I know what it's like to be a beginner. I know what it's like to move on to other things and move up, going from a low proof to the middle to high proof. There's still a few other low proof 90s, mid 90s whiskey and bourbon that I do still enjoy. So the overall score is basically how I would score it for a beginner or an intermediate and a high proof person. That's how I see it. So for me, I would give this I think I would give it a 4 out of 5 because I think anyone would enjoy this. Even a beginner would enjoy this. It is 100 proof and the flavors are rich. So if you put 1 drop of water, it would bring the heat down a bit, open the flavors a little more, and you can enjoy it as a beginner. Even on ice, if you put just 1 small cube of ice and chill it for a bit, it'll go down smooth and you'll still get those nice flavors in there. So it's great. Even someone in the middle would enjoy this. It's easy to drink. It's smooth. By itself, it's delicious. Even someone that likes high proof would enjoy this neat. This is great. If you're a high proof person like me, my range is about I'm going to say between 120 and 130 proof. And I love this. I I personally, for my palate, I wouldn't drink this on ice. And I wouldn't put a drop of water in there either. I would enjoy this by itself, neat, absolutely delicious. So there's my reviews. That's how I do my reviews, and how I personally believe is the best way to do my reviews is to not only uh, talk about what it says, but also give your own opinion on what you think. Do you pick up those things? Does your palate really pick up those things? And it also gives people an insight of, hey, even though it says this, I may not pick this up, but let's see. It sounds delicious. Let's give it a try, see what I pick up, and see if I can enjoy it. But that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below if you have any questions, or even if you have tips to give me. I still consider myself a beginner. I've been doing this. I've been drinking whiskey and bourbon for 5 years, but I've only been doing reviews since last year, 2024, in August. And I'm just enjoying the journey of learning from others and giving my opinion, giving my feedback from what I'm learning from others, and also picking up on my own along the way. So please share if you have any advice for me, if you have any questions, let me know. All right, guys. Anyway, again, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and cheers.